Well, welcome back to another edition of the Dog Culture Podcast. This is our first live. We wanted to get this thing cracking for the fall of 2020. I think that's like a double entendre, right? Fall of 2020, but
ooh, that's a bar.
Guys, I can't. I'm just ecstatic about what we got in store for you guys. We have the Dog Culture CEO himself, the gun guy,
the gun boy,
Delonte Hill. I don't know if you want me to give him your whole government.
I love my middle name. My wife don't.
Right, and now we got someone we've been praying for. I mean, like one of the big brains behind the Dog Culture.
Big brains,
right? Mr. Mark Foster. Talk to him.
Goody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man.
Hey, man. I feel like this, we like the big three, LeBron, Bosh, and, D. Wade, or, however you want to take Garnett, Pierce, Allen, the big three, man. I really feel some good vibes coming from what we're going to get accomplished.
That's real.
Today, I wanted to dive into something that I heard, and since we, all got up together at the ET conference, something that he said a while back ago that always had me thinking. Okay,
you just gonna bypass how we doing. Bypass how was your week?
This is why this is a trial run.
Hey, Paul said he understands you got 40 minutes, bro.
Right. Right. But I mean, how have you been over these last couple of months, man?
Oh man, good. Just I'm hyped to see myself. I don't know this junk. I keep smiling. That's weird. But I'm good, man. I'm hyped that we back. Now let's not talk about the elephant in the room. When we had the podcast going for like a year. Was it almost a year straight?
Give or take.
We have over 200 something episodes though, so that's dope. But I'm just happy that we're back on the podcast platform where we're able to, like I told you in the past, like the podcast, it helps me every week. It helps me to be able to articulate my thoughts, to get out, whatever I'm learning throughout the week, and just to be able to have the conversation that I don't normally have throughout the week if I don't talk to you guys. It's just a good place to come and chop it up. So
definitely
glad we back.
Exercise those brain muscles.
Yeah, the neurons.
Yeah, definitely. Something that you had said, Mike, and I kind of wanted to
I say a lot, so yeah.
We got to talk about this probably offline, but it's more on being able to use this, whether it's on YouTube Live, and attach it to like a Patreon. But I know Mark probably, kind of hip to some of those things. But we'll talk about that, right?
Yeah, we will rap about that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What about you, Mark? How's things been for you?
Man, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told my brother last night, man. Things couldn't be better, which is just kind of weird, which is how 2020's been.
Right.
I'm pretty sure y'all are aware of Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther dying.
Right. Rest in peace.
It just seems like so many things are just happening this year, man. But like I said, on my end, bro, job promotion. I'm below 200 for the first time in my adult life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting the health together. You know what I mean? So it's just so much stuff that I can't, words can't express how grateful I am. You know what I'm saying? But in the same token, I also understand that, you still got 4 more months left. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to position myself and order my steps to make sure I make the most of it.
I like that. For sure.
How about you, bro?
I'm glad that you asked. For me, it's just been a process, man. I've been I had to move. We're building a crib right now.
Okay.
So it's everything that comes with that, and kind of thinking around it, and then even like what are the next moves? What are the next steps? What direction am I gonna invest my time and energy into? For 10 years, 20 years, so on and so forth. And that changes,
Right.
But just understanding where I am right now and knowing that I do have to do something different than what I've been doing, right? Or more of some of the things that I've been doing, more and less, right? So it's been a time of reflection. It's been a time of work. It's been a time of movement, despite everything that's been going on in the outside world. So
what's been going on in the outside world?
We'll get to that. Right? But to kind of preface what I was saying earlier, E.T. said something that really stuck out to me. He was like, what good is it to be a public success and a private failure?
Church, that one.
And I really looked at that as being real versus fake, right? And in the world that we live in, the social media world, and you start to see down the line all these different people that are being exposed for faking, for being a fraud, whatever. But I look at it just down the line in general. Some people just not real with themselves. Yeah. Whether they're fronting on social media and they got the followers, they got the the influence, but they not really living the life they say they living, versus somebody that's just on a practical level who's just not able to self-assess, right? Able to say, yo, I am struggling with this, or I'm not doing X, Y, and Z, right? I really want us to kind of dive into that, because that's layered deep, obviously, right? But just looking at it on a practical level, are people more fake than ever?
Man. All right, Double Dutch, I'm gonna jump in. So, two things. One, I really truly appreciate you even bringing this topic up, bro, because over the last, I want to say, month or two, that's something I'll use the word struggle, not in the sense of publicly trying to be a person that I quote unquote not, but more so being honest with myself and assessing I might be lagging. Okay. Being honest with myself and assessing, like, am I ordering my steps in the proper way? So, for instance, Mike will tell you, like, about a couple of months ago, matter of fact, earlier this year, matter of fact, when I saw you at the ET jump, that was last year, that was this year? That was last year, wasn't it?
That was last year.
Oh, wow. At that time, Mike will tell you I was sending off my goals, my objectives each and every morning, at night, checking them off, just trying to show, making sure that I'm being purposeful with my time. But what I realized during that process was that, I've learned that my trigger was, I like that outside, that existential accountability. Mm-hmm. But in the same token, it's like, all right, cool, but if your household is not in order, not in shambles, what does it mean if boys think that you're doing it big? You know what I mean? Right. What it means if, you sitting there and you're checking off the boxes and stuff, but at the same time, you're not connecting with your wife. You're not spending the proper time with your children. You know what I mean? So even though I'm not a person I'm not big on social media at all. I've never really gravitated to it. I understand it's a great tool, but I also understand that, like, if anything, it just brings out the narcissism in people. So I just always felt bad. But it's like, even though you're not on social media, again, amongst your boys and everything, like, yeah, they bigging you up. They're like, man, you knocking it out, bro. You accomplishing them goals. You inspiring me. But it's like, if you're not inspiring your household first, then, like, what does it all mean?
Right. Yeah.
I know for me, one thing that I've done, and you said it just now, was just the checking in with yourself. So with me, every morning I journal. And that's like my recalibration to make sure that, like, is my GPS going back on the right track? Did I detour the day before? You know what I mean? And it puts everything back on focus as to what's the actual mission. Are we just scoreboard watching, or are we trying to win the game?
Hey, man, I love that. I love it. He done took all my points. Hold on, let me.
That's heavy. Right. No, so it's funny because I saw a video by what's my man name? QDZ yesterday, and he was saying, don't let people lie to you. Like, you looking at, and he said it was a study done where, like, scientists, doctors, whomever did a study where people are depressed. Like, it's like a percentage of people with social media are depressed because they're staring at someone else's life. My dog might Kirk in a minute. Give me a second.
Go ahead and jump in, Paul.
Mike ain't let him out this morning. So
Right.
Gonna let him know. He's back.
All right, nah, she just crazy. But so what happens is, and like you said, Mark, I do think it's a place people go to get their rocks off. It's like social media. Let me put a picture up. Let me get me likes, and then I feel good about myself. But what it does, I think it hurts the user more than it does the person that's seeing it. Because if you live this lifestyle of, I only feel good when I get likes and comments on my pictures, but on the inside, internally, I am still hurting. Like, I'm going through the hell inside, but then I'm trying to act like it's all peaches and cream on the outside. I think that is more damage, and this is just me, than the person watching, because ultimately you try to keep that up for so long that you don't even give yourself the opportunity to look in the mirror, because all you're focusing on is how do people see me, but not how do I see myself. You know what I'm saying? And that was a bar. So for me though, and I wanted to get that off, but for me, I want to be the guy that, like, when you see me and my wife happy, that it's like we're really happy.
It ain't for the cameras, right?
Yeah, because I mean, people see my wife a lot, they see our relationship a lot, but they don't see, the downs. They see the ups because we make the ups look good. I don't know, pictures, smiling, what have you. But the downs, I'm okay with showing that. For example, yesterday we had a wedding event and we had a disagreement. But this is where the growth comes in. We had a disagreement, and a year ago, 6 months ago, I would have probably kirked and not talked to her for the rest of the day. And so what I did, I kind of assessed the situation, and I was like, I don't really agree, but let me see where she's coming from. And then I actually walked away. We was talking, everything was over. I walked away, and I had to think about it. Like, yo, is she right? And if you don't think she's right, see where she's coming from and see if you can agree with that, or see if you can at least accept it to the point where y'all can start talking again. Because you can't be in a point or a position where you just like, I'm right, she tripping, and it is what it is, and then we go home and then we don't talk, and it just builds up. So 15, 20 minutes went by, and we in the same room together. We wasn't really talking, but eventually I was like, yo, like, we was at a wedding, 1. 2, you gonna let your ego ruin the day? Right. And 3 was like, she's right, regardless of what you think. What she's saying makes sense. So you need to figure it out and make it better. So what I did, I looked at her and I was like, bring it in. And that was that. But like the effort in trying to make sure the downtime doesn't stay down is where I've gotten better at. Like, I'm not going, because I would go a week and not say nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then somehow, some way, she breaks the ice. But now it's like, yo, you're bigger than this. And if we're going to grow, let's grow at a faster rate. And as opposed to like take a week off and now you working on your company, because ultimately it's about the family, right? So why are we going to be grinding so hard on the company, and something happened in the company, you fix it immediately, but something happened at home and you don't? Because like, that's backwards. So for me, it's just being able to actually, look in the mirror and not see self, but see what you need to work on. You know what I'm saying? Not see that, oh, I got it going on, but like actually look for the imperfections. You know what I'm saying?
2 things, bro. 2 things. I'm sorry, Paul.
No, I've been trying to cut him off this whole time, and I had it on mute.
I was like, I feel like I'm the guest, right? But 2 things, Mike. 2 things. You sought to understand, then to be understood. And most of the time, people want to be understood versus trying to understand the other person. So that's right. Good on you on that. But then the second thing I wanted to say is that you chose to be a thermostat versus a thermometer. The thermometer reacts to the situation, to the atmosphere that we're in. You know what I'm saying? The thermometer ain't got no choice.
Yeah.
If 70 degrees in this joint, then I'm going to react to 70 degrees.
Right.
That thermostat, you like, hey, it's just hot in there. Let's cool down a little bit.
Yeah, heavy.
You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to throw that in there, man.
Yeah, that's love.
I see why you like this guy, Mike. It makes sense now, dog. You guys just threw a lot in there, man. Bits and pieces that I want to break down, honestly. And I wanted to really talk about family, but I was like, that's so, jam-packed. That might have to be a whole nother podcast, right? But some of the biggest pieces that I realized, especially today in media, is that people like lies more than the truth. Like, it's crazy. Like, it doesn't even really have to be true, right? And in some ways, I feel like people rather, roll with that versus be honest, first and foremost, with yourself. That's something that you kind of talked about, first, Mark, right? And looking at it like, yo, am I hitting the mark? Another double entendre. Right? Am I hitting the mark? Because I got a direction that I'm headed. I got a place that I'm headed. And am I going to fall in love? And I think that's a great segue. Is it all about the affirmation from other people? Is it all about everybody else seeing me win in the area, whether I am or not, whether it's true or not? It's just the dopamine that I get from them acknowledging it, right? Because that's a real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, dang, is this what life has become for so many, right? Where I have to be perceived a certain way, right? And when we talk about the disassessment, and I honestly believe this, most people, if not all people, are not who they are when you first meet them. Yeah. And when I say that, I mean that not that they're being unauthentic. I'm saying that just based off adaptive style versus natural style, and I'll break that down in a second. You know how like girls will be dating a dude, he was great at first. He was just this and that, and or like when you go for the interview, right, for your job, and you this way, and then you start working like, yo, he's not the dude that I interviewed. And what it is, when you talk about an adaptive style, that means I'm changing who I naturally am because I know I'm being watched, right? Because I want to be perceived a certain way, right? So you might go to work and talk different, or get around a certain amount of people and talk more professionally. They call it professional, right? Which is okay, right? But then, when you go back, what's up, dog? Yeah, what's up, Mo? You know what I'm saying? That's who you naturally are. That's who you grew up being. That's when you put all the walls down, that's just who you are. That's a natural style. You don't have to put energy to being yourself. And what happens and where people get burnt out is when I'm inadaptive too long, I can't be in character that long. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why actors, you saw what happened with the guy that played the Joker last. Heath Ledger. He was in character too long.
That's real.
He got burnt out. He's like, yo, I got all these thoughts and these things I'm battling because he embodied this person that he was not for the sake of the movie. But he didn't know how to detach that and go back to who he was. Right. And in a lot of ways, I feel like that's how people they've become this character so long that it's like it's cutting away at who they really are. And be honest, a lot of people don't really even know who they really are.
Church.
But I want us to kind of pick
where do you go to, like, look for the person who wants more. We had a conversation with a guy, Paul, like a real good friend of ours, and he just was like, I don't know my purpose. You know what I'm saying? So am I like the people who are, living out this image that they want to be, like, they want to be perceived as this individual? Is it because of lack of purpose? Is it because, like, because I feel like personally, when you have a purpose and you know your purpose, your mission is now like directed 100% for that, like for you to live out and fulfill the purpose that's been placed on your life. So I don't want to say that, you know, people can't put a mask on when they're walking in their purpose. But me personally, it's like there are things that, like when I started out, let's say when I first started out, you know, speaking, I was like, I don't know if I should say this because it might ruffle some feathers, right? And so I would kind of watch my tone a little bit. But ultimately, once I realized in order for me to reach the people that I have to reach, I have to say what's on my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I guess, and I took like two paths just now, but one, I want to say, is it because of lack of purpose that people are hiding behind this image that they want people to see? Because I feel like when you're in your purpose, you have to be genuine and authentic, because that purpose actually it lives through you. You know what I'm saying?
Without vision, people perish.
Yeah, but so you know how like sometimes when I speak, I'm bouncing, but you see what I'm trying to get to though?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it because of lack of purpose that people don't really find themselves?
Most definitely, I believe.
I said all that to get there. That's what I wanted to say.
But you're working through that though. I think you got better at it because before you used to like say something that wasn't on par with it. Now you're talking through it and then getting there.
Yeah, don't talk about me. Don't talk about me in public, bro. That's a conversation we have.
All fair.
Yeah.
But no, I think you're totally right, Mike, on some real stuff, man. I mean, you know, and the thing is that a lot of us, if we're being honest, we don't even know what finding purpose and finding meaning even looks like. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just keep it G. Let's address the elephant in the room. You know, depending upon how you were raised, you know, your parents just told you, hey, man, once you get a certain age, you need to start making money. You need to provide for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, once you're always in survival mode, that's all you know. You don't have time to think about, well, what's my purpose and so on and so forth, because it starts just to become a normality just to keep your head above water. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's not until you just really truly realize that, like, at the end of the day, I mean, this sounds kind of nihilistic, and nihilism is like the thought of like, does it all have a meaning, or all this is worthless? We're all going to die anyway. But when you eliminate that fear of like what failure looks like or what society deems to be failure, then I feel like that gives you permission, it gives you the freedom to say, okay, well, what do I actually want to do? Yeah. Because if I lose this job and I can't pay the next bill, then like, I mean, hey, I just don't pay the bill. Yeah. But it's not an awakening that you start, again, like I told you, bro, I say it all the time, son, you almost died. You know what I'm saying? So it allows you, hey, we talked about this the other day, you know, from time to time, we'll have our conversations. Hey, bro, you don't like the job? Change it on your own.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds good, bro. But like, I don't like the job. You know what I'm saying? Right. Still going back to it. Yeah. But it wasn't until, you know, you went through it connecting with you in the sense of like, now the way that I make money is taken away from me. It's like, whoa, I don't like this. So like what sucks sometimes is that either one or two things happen. You're either raised in an environment, which I'm trying to be very purposeful of, with my son, with my daughter. And it always reflects the fact that like my daughter's 14, and I'm just like, man, I wish I was the man that I am now when she was younger, but I'm still getting her at a critical age. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not void. But with my son, I'm way more purposeful because it's like, I want to create an environment that as you grow older, you're asking those questions. You know, Dad's not just asking, how was your day and everything. Dad's asking you unorthodox questions like, what did you fail at today? So that you can get comfortable with the idea of failure, understanding that that's just part of the process to get to where you want to get to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you either A, grow up in an environment where finding your purpose and finding your way is nurtured, or you have to go through hell. You know what I'm saying? But because of the society that we live in, everybody lives uncomfortable comfort. You know what I'm saying? Bammers don't like what they have. People are so non-enamored with their situation. But just like Paul said, you can get that dopamine hit when somebody likes your picture. So like all that frustration just starts to subside. And you start to become like, you know, you wander. You're just a wanderer in life, not knowing exactly what you want, But it doesn't hurt that bad because, again, with the way that we are right now in this technology, you're able to, whatever you're yearning, you're able to get it just that instantly.
Yeah.
Jump in, Paul.
So, man, y'all throw so much, man. It's fire. It's fire, though, man. I love it, and that's why I know we're on to something great. So, in looking at and trying to simplify some of the things you guys said, like, we understand how so much of what happens is emotional, right? And, you know, men have traditionally been categorized as being, you know, not as emotional. Although we're emotional creatures, just like women, we've run from the emotional side of it, right? And not really acknowledging our emotions, right? Right. So, and understanding the market and how it's emotional, understanding these decisions, people eat, you see people are morbidly obese. It's very deeply rooted in trauma and emotion. Some of the things like you guys are talking about, you know, those are emotionally driven. I'm feeling a certain way, but in theory, I think people are looking for themselves.
Yeah.
Right? When we really look at from the very beginning of time and as we grow and acculturate outside of our immediate environment, our family, we're looking to be affirmed and learn how to communicate in a world or a group of people that accept us, right? Because that's a part of our survival, being able to live away from our family, right? And find our place in all of that. But sometimes people get lost in just being accepted in a group versus the next phase, which is realizing, well, what is it that I care about?
Yeah.
What is it that I want? What is it? That's a graduation phase that some people never get to. They stay in a place of, I need validation. I need acceptance. Like you might see it like just noticing people like, dang, like, you know, you're doing it for clout. Like, I just want people to like my photo or, you know, comment on my video, whatever it is. And I know me and Mike had a conversation. I was like, Mike, I don't even care about the views. You know what I'm saying? Because if it hit that one person, then you made the video for the right person.
Right. That's real.
You see what I'm saying? It'll go, and it's for the people that you started. And I know you want to reach the world, and you will, right? But at the end of the day, we're not doing it for the views. The views will get there because it'll resonate with so many people. But that's not why we're doing it, because we get grounded in just making sure everybody see it.
Yeah.
Then we losing the purpose altogether.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I said all that to say, going back to what Mike said. Like, I really looked at it like, and trying to be honest with yourself and trying to,
huh?
I know, what is that?
I said, check you out. My bad, Paul.
Mark?
Got a gift.
Yeah. That's a 10-minute mark, I think, Mike? Something like that?
I just said it's been upgraded by the.
Oh, you upgraded it? Okay.
Grace of God.
Limited. He said, right.
Like, no, we need more time. But I just realized that
Zoom was feeling the conversation. He was like, you know what? Don't cut them off.
Right. I think we've been born into lies, though.
Oh, yes.
I think we've been born into it. We've accepted it. It's a part of our psychology now. That this is a system, and then when you get to that phase where you start to really understand yourself and understand what's going on, you like, hold up, like that wasn't even true.
Yeah.
You start to even question yourself, like, yo, what I was believing in was a part of the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then it's like, I gotta not to say I have to question everything, but I have to actually be conscious of what I set myself in foundation of. I'm going, you know, I'm some people, they can't be wrong. They just, this is what I believe. Ain't nothing outside of that.
Yeah.
But when you really start to look at it, like, yo, who I am 10 years from now has to somewhat contradict who I am now.
Yeah.
Somewhat, not you know, foundationally, but
I mean, if we growing and we evolving as people, I would hope that 10 years from now, Gunny ain't the same guy that you see today.
Right.
But it's rooted in fear. It's rooted in the fear of, quote unquote, we've been told so often, like, especially within our community, bro. You know what I'm saying? The idea, let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I am who I am. You feel what I'm saying? I don't never change. I don't never switch up, bro.
Yeah.
You know I'm the same one from day one. And it's like,
right.
Once that gets played in your head for so long, man, the idea of you becoming another person, it's fear-induced. So you suppress it. I don't like that. You know what I mean?
That's
and it's like, bruh, like once everything that we try to run away from, like, and going back to what Paul was saying, like, you go for acceptance, you look for acceptance. If you break it down, that's rooted in the fear of being alone. Everything comes right back to fear.
Yeah.
But like you said, Paul, once you understand that the fear is an illusion, fear is just the indicator, nothing more, nothing less, bro. Like that, fear ain't killing you. You know what I mean? Fear is just giving you either indication
but it can, though.
Huh? Go ahead.
It ain't, but it can, and that's the scary part about it. Nah, but go ahead.
No. So I want you to jump on. I want you to expound on that.
So the idea of fear, of believing in something that has not happened, can actually attract the negative things that you don't want to happen. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's why I eliminate fear altogether. And because I'm not Superman, it still shows up. Mm-hmm. Although I'm not thinking on it, if I'm actually if something is happening and fear grips me, I intentionally move forward through whatever I'm doing so I can overcome that moment. You know what I'm saying? But when you think about if I do this, I won't be accepted, then you'll conform and like you'll be someone that you're not supposed to be. Because you want to do everything right in order for people to be like, that's my man, right? So even when I first started speaking and doing the company thing, I'm a football player. I got mad friends. I had 15 dudes in my wedding. I'm like, how will they see me? How will they view me? This isn't who I am. I get on Instagram, I rap Drake, I roll out. I put a picture up every 3 months because I think I'm cool. Like, that's who I was. So if I start posting every single day, people gonna be like, yo, what you doing? And lo and behold, I was like, F it. This ain't about me. This is about the people. And when I started doing it, yo, what you doing? So I don't even talk to like all of my boys like I used to. But once I realized that it's not about me, and like regardless of what the fear, like whatever the fear is, like losing whomever, regardless of that, if I lose them, it wasn't meant to be anyway. You know what I'm saying? So like if I go out and I start this company, but I'm afraid to start, you got to look at it on the other side. If I do start, what's the worst that can happen? Right. Because I'm creating a conclusion before I even start. Right. So you might as well go through and create the I guess the path as you go. You know what I'm saying? Right. But ultimately what I'm saying is when you fear, like when you embrace the idea of fear, you actually create the one thing that you don't want, because whatsoever a man think of in his heart, so is he. So if I think on failing, if I think on something going wrong, all I can attract are the things that I think. You feel me?
Most definitely. So going back to what I was saying and everything is that, and you even said it, you started it off, you said the idea of, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to, the biggest thing is we have to unlearn what we've learned, you know? And for so long, we've learned to run away from fear. You know what I'm saying? What's the quickest thing that I can do to get rid of this feeling? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm fearful that I'm going to be alone. All right, well, let me go ahead and perp to make niggas happy. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's like, once you just understand that the fear is just the indicator, just like driving a car. You know what I'm saying? If the needle's on E, that doesn't mean that you're out of gas. It just indicates that you're about to run out of gas.
Right.
Right. Like when the fear comes in, you know, again, well, like with my son right now, my daughter, I'm trying to like get them to understand, like when the fear creeps, pause. Let's assess, why am I fearful? Going back to what now as I'm talking it out, I can start to address and be like, that's what the hell? You know what I'm saying? I'm getting anxious because I don't want these guys to not accept me, but okay, well, if I'm me, and they don't accept me, then do they need to be my guys? You know what I mean? It's like understanding and rebranding what fear is. You get what I mean? Like the thing, like fear, all that stuff, bro, is a whole bunch of unlearning that Bamas have to do. Because the definition that we've been given for all these years has been very false. I don't even care what it says in the dictionary.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What does it mean to you, and what are you going to allow for it? Are you going to allow for it to be an ignorance or a tool? Okay, I'm fearful to get on a Zoom call with you guys. You know what I'm saying? I don't like being in front of the camera. Okay, that means you need to get on that Zoom call.
Exactly.
You can provide value, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, take a step back and say, why are you scared? You scared because you might look a certain way? Bro, like, check that. Check your ego at the door. Pull up the laptop. Add value. You know what I'm saying? Especially if your brother asks you to come and add value. So it's just figuring out that fear is just the indicator. It's not tangible. It's only tangible when you allow it to be tangible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is perfect. And so as a freshman in college, they threw me in the fire, right? I played running back my whole career. They threw me in the fire. I started playing defense. When I played, now you think about it, you're a freshman. I don't know what I'm doing, but the coach think I'm good, so I'm out here. I got seniors around, everybody yelling, I'm out here. I don't know what's going on. I know the plays we've been practicing. I'm like, all right, I'm supposed to be right here. I was so afraid to not make the play. I was so afraid to mess up that I continued to mess up through my fear. I would not even give myself a chance to make the play because I would fall. Like, dog, do you understand? I was falling when the ball was coming my way because I was so afraid to fall. Like, the one thing that I was afraid to do, it made me do it. Right. Another thing, in order to get over the fear, I had to fall. So I had to fall to realize I am messing up and this is not the way. So how do I get out of this, right? And this is how we get to the victory. Like, you have to take your falls in life and learn from them. Because if I didn't fall, I never would have changed my way of thinking. And then my new way of thinking was like, I sat in my room, I said, dog, you're going to have to do it anyway. So if you do it in confidence, maybe there'll be a different result. Because in practice, there was confidence because these my boys, these my teammates, I know them, I know where I need to be. The game time playing on game day changed the atmosphere, right? So it changed the intensity of the environment. So in that, like, with the atmosphere shifting and it being so, like, exciting, I was like, I can't mess up. But in practice, when it's just me and the guys, we doing the same thing, right? But my confidence level is higher because there's nothing at risk. If I mess up, I can just do it again. So I realized, I was like, yo, in order to get over this, you're going to have to do exactly what you do in practice in the game. You're going to have to be confident and just see what happens. And once I started saying, yo, I got to do it anyway, I might as well not be afraid of it, I didn't automatically stop falling, but it would be like a stumble. You know what I'm saying? And then I make a tackle, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm getting it. But what I'm getting at is, in order to get over it, you have to go through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot accept what fear is trying to tell you, meaning I will, like, if I fall, I lose or right. You see?
You change the association.
Right. So, but what we do is we take the fear and we embrace it and we believe in it. You know what I'm saying? And we let it dictate, like, what we do, instead of looking at it and saying, okay, this fear is here for a reason. Because every time I feared in the past and I went through it, I realized on the other side it wasn't that bad. It was everything that you know what I'm saying? I just believed what it was telling me. So what I'm saying is, like, if you gotta go through it, Go through it in confidence. If the fear is there or not, just go through it and just see what happens. That's the only thing, because fear isn't real anyway. It's just telling you what you think is going to happen. So go through it, go through the fear in faith and just see what happens. And I promise you, on the other side, it's like, oh, I was tripping. Like, it's literally nothing to be afraid of. And now, like, you always go back to, yo, you almost died. Now I'm like, yo, if something happens, I'll be like, yo, you almost died. What you talk? Like, I tell myself, you're not even supposed to be here. So what you scared of?
Wait, this is house money. Real life, like, damn, we're playing house money.
Time. Exactly. I'm like, just go. Regardless, just go. Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, one of the biggest fears is they say they fear of death, right?
Yeah, right.
Face that, and nothing else can really top that, right?
Yeah.
But I think another big fear that a lot of people struggle with, whether it's the fear of isolation, fear of being alone, is just the fear of starting over.
Yeah.
The fear of creating a new you. Yeah. The fear of walking away from everything that you knew to be true. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That is so layered deep that someone will stay in a relationship longer than they need to. People will stay at jobs longer than they need to. People will be afraid to change because of what they think that comes with that, right? And in theory, it blocks them from getting to a better future, better whatever, because like you say, Mike, you got to go through, being able to let go of everything you knew to be true. And one of the biggest things I've ever heard you say was, the facts are the facts, but my truth is my truth. And it ain't got to be true to nobody else but me. You know what I mean? So he's like, live on your truth. Like, whatever the facts is, that's cool. But what's true to me is true to me. That's it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people got to kind of understand what is their truth. And I feel like we love lies so much that, like, some people, like, you ever told somebody the truth and they don't even like you? Like, dog, this is the truth. Like, what? Right. Like, but I realized, they say the truth hurts. Yeah. People don't want to digest the truth.
Nah, but go ahead. No, all right. So so the reason being though, right, is because, like you said, it does hurt, and it's a mirror. The truth is the mirror. You ever did something, and this all right. I'm talking about myself. So when I first started my company, right, I lost friends. And it was weird because I'm like, yo, you my man though. You know what I'm saying? And someone said to me, I think it might have been you, Mark, they see you changing. They see you elevating your life and going in a different direction. And it holds a mirror up in front of them. And they see everything that they're not doing.
Yep.
And that, what you see is the truth. And it hurts you because what lies behind what you're not doing is either fear or laziness. I don't know which one it is. Sometimes people just aren't willing to put in enough work or effort to get what they want out of life. You feel me? So that's why when the truth hurts, because it shows you that you are where you are because of you and nobody else, bro. Like, if my marriage doesn't make it, it's because of me. It has nothing to do with my wife. Right. Leader, right? We have the vision, they support the vision. Same plane, different like roles or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's greater than anybody, but we have the vision. Like P said, without vision, the people perish. So if my vision for my wife and our relationship and our lifestyle, if it isn't where it needs to be, and I'm not attacking that vision, and I get lost along the way, this has nothing to do with her. And the truth is that I wasn't I don't know, driven enough to make sure that our relationship stood tall. You know what I'm saying? So the fact of the matter is, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you won't see the results that you need. Like, nothing is just going to happen.
Yeah.
Just because you dream it. People say it all the time, just pray. No, I'm sorry. It's not just pray. Because you can pray all you want, but if you don't believe it in here, then it's not going to work for you. I'm sorry. Like, it is what it is. Yes, God has grace, but I'm talking about in the matter of life and death. Yeah. Like, these are in those moments, you got to believe. So when me and my wife, when we're in a situation, I'm like, yo, I'm going to have the best marriage. I'm going to change the dynamic that I've seen my entire life of what marriage looks like. I'm going to have a great marriage. The first 5 years are hard. I'm not going to let the first 5 years be hard just because that's your reality. You feel me? So I guess what I'm saying all this to say is, when the mirror is up and you look at yourself, you're like, your life is a direct reflection of what you've done. Only you have put you in a place where you are now, right? So that's why the truth hurts, because if I'm not where I want to be, it's my fault, and I can't accept that. You know what I'm saying? And that's self-assessing. Nobody wants to say, damn, it's on me. Right. But it takes real strength to look in the mirror and say, damn, it's on me. How am I going to fix it, though? Because it's okay to see yourself and be like, yo, what am I doing? Like, this is my fault. Now, but let me seek help. Whatever I got to do to figure out how do I get from here to where I want to be, that's what I need to do. But it's hard because people are afraid of they're afraid of the effort of the work, or I don't know if it humiliates them. I don't know what it is. For me, it was like, yo, it was my pride. Like, nah, I'm right. I'm always right. But you know what hurts the most? When you realize that you're wrong. And it's like, damn, like, you're vulnerable. You got to talk about it. Like, this is a relationship with me and my wife. I got to talk about why. I don't want to talk about why I feel the way I feel. I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? I was raised to feel like this. I was raised to act like this. So now I gotta go break down deep-rooted things of why I feel the way I feel, what happened to me as a child, and now I gotta talk to somebody. Like, these are secrets you take to the grave. Like, nah, I don't know. I'm a man. That's all I can say. I'm a man. But now I'm not. That's not me no more. I am who I need to be to become the person that I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm a man, but that ain't my go-to when I feel like I'm right. It's just like, okay, let's be vulnerable. And vulnerability isn't easy. That's the hardest thing for me. It's like it hurts because I can be hurt even more by just being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it takes. And like, you got to look in the mirror and be like, what am I doing wrong? And be willing to fix that.
I got two things for you.
I be rapping, bro.
You said what?
I be rapping.
Nah, you good, bro. Like, so the first thing was going back to that accountability piece. Like you said, that discussion you and I had. The reality is, man, it's like when you stepping in your purpose, when you live in your truth, bro, and I see that you're doing what you're doing, and I know that I'm not doing what I'm doing, you don't even have to say it verbally, but I take it as, who are you to hold me accountable? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's funny, right? You like, bro, like, you know,
right.
Ain't nothing. You don't even, right? It's like, who you think you are, bro, to hold me accountable, right? You're like, bro, like, I'm trying to show you what's possible.
That's heavy.
Going around bragging about it and things of that nature, but like, that's what a person takes it as.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you started a business, bro? You know, who are you to hold me accountable for the business I told you I wanted to start 3 years ago? Ooh. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is, right? And it's like, it's a tough pill to swallow. But again, until you are able to just like unlearn what you thought was, is to start asking yourself, okay, again, this feeling bubbles up. Let me assess the feeling. Like, pressing pause a lot of times and just being willing to do the hard work is so freaking it's so powerful, bro. But the other thing I wanted to say, and this goes back to what Paul was saying about how like the truth hurts. The reality is and I was writing this down, getting better with that. It says truth is just a weed eliminator. Once you start speaking the truth, and let's say that, X, Y, and Z, a person's like, man, you know what, I don't bang with you anymore. All right, cool. Then you ain't never bang with me then, bro.
Right. Or they used to bang with you when y'all lived on the same kind of
exactly on the same plane, on the same even plane.
Yeah.
So it's just like, again, it's like either one or two things are gonna happen. Either my truth is gonna be a fertilizer and it's gonna spring up some more, some better grass, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna elevate to what you need to elevate to.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna be matter of fact, it's actually a combination of both. Because I can go to Home Depot right now and get some stuff that's either it's a combo, weed eliminator and it's turf builder. So my truth is my weed eliminator and my turf builder. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna spread it. So you're gonna either elevate and go on this plane, you know what I'm saying, with me, or you're not gonna be here. But either way, as long as I'm walking in my truth, I'm straight, and I have to understand that. You know what I mean? Like the people that were there, if they're not going along with you, here's the reality of it too. If you get on board, eventually, like sometime down the line, because of my integrity, I'm here to help.
Right.
But I'm not going to allow it to keep effing up my turf.
Yeah.
Because of your weeds. F that, man.
Yeah. I don't even smoke.
Part of that, and people talk about it like, oh, they hating, or he switched up.
Yeah.
Right. Where I look at it like, we talked about it. I think I might have talked about it with you, Mark, as well. Talk about closing the gap. Right. Let's say, just for instance, like me and Mike, a group of us is like 9 of us that played ball together in high school, with the exception of one, but we played college ball together, so on and so forth. We had these lifelong relationships. But like, let's say one of us made it to the league, right? And we, just in a different environment altogether. We think it different, not that everybody had to play in the league to be on the same level, but that person just took a couple steps up.
Right.
Right. And this is just an example. I know Snoop Dogg really talked about it. He was like, becoming a rapper, you grew up with these guys and y'all all might have been on level 3 together. Right. But then all of a sudden you at level 8, level 9, you famous, you making millions, so on and so forth. And not that necessarily makes you so much higher. You're just in a different atmosphere, different conversations, different rooms, so on and so forth. Now your friends have a choice. You and your friends have a choice. And most of the time, this happened to Mike Vick. Mike Vick was a 9.
Yeah.
But all his friends were 3s and 2s. But he kept coming back down. I'm going to do what they doing. We all going to do it together. Blah, blah, blah. Ain't none of them got better. So he kept coming. So when we talk about a gap, right, there's a choice that has to happen for us to be together. Either I got to come down or you got to come up.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people want to make that climb.
That's heavy.
You feel me? LeBron's, his boys, they decided to come up.
Right.
LeBron's a 10. They had to come up to 8 or 9 to even be in close proximity to one another. Yeah. But they had to go through development. And that's the part I think that people want. Like, I don't believe people want to go through that process that Mike talked about. They don't want to go through the fire. They want it to be, microwave oven, throw it in, 30 seconds is done.
What I got to work for, you there. You
hate it. You know what I mean? Because that's what we see. Everything's, they talk about, instant gratification. Right. If I got an itch, I get a social media, I get that dopamine shot. You know what I mean? They don't necessarily want to work and to get to the levels that we talk about, to manifest something, to become these things we talk. That's work. That's process. That's things that me and Mike talked about early on in entrepreneurship. He's like, man, this joint ain't go like I wanted it to go. I said, that's great. He's like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like, no, you need that though. You need it not to go the way you want, because now you got to go back in the lab and work even harder, because everything can't just turn out how you want it to turn out. Not to say that it couldn't have, but there's more work to be done. And once you understand that, I got to constantly develop myself to get to this thing that I have in my head, to live in my purpose. Then I realized that it's all the shallow stuff that I had in the beginning got to get to the side. Because the people that really get to it, not to say other people can't get to it, you're going to have to go through a whole lot. That's why I tell people, if you don't love it, you ain't going to get to it.
Yeah.
If you don't really love it, you ain't going to get to it. If it ain't in your soul, you ain't going to get to it. Because what it's going to take for you to get it, you might not be able to do that.
If you don't love it, you ain't going to get to it. If you on one side of a river and your child is in the middle, stuck on some Simba stuff, stuck on an island, and it's a current coming and the water's going crazy, if you don't love it, I guarantee you the mother is going to get to the child.
Yeah.
It's a different type of connection that dog, I carried you. You were like incubated in me. Like you are a part of me. I love you with everything in me, so I'm going to give everything in me to get to you. Bars. If you don't, that's true though. If you don't love it, you won't get to it, bro. Straight up.
Yeah.
And that's the type of effort and passion that needs to be like associated with our dreams and our goals in life, dog. Like we can't just like set these stupid goals that we don't really want because somebody else wants them for us. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, like whatever lifestyle that you see for yourself, you have to really want it. Like you have to what's the word I was using the other day? You have to be desperate for it. Like desperation. You like when you're out of, what's the definition? Whatever the definition. When you're desperate for something, you want it so bad, you will do anything it takes to get there. Anything it takes to get it. So you have to be desperate. Like if you don't want it, if you're not desperate, it won't happen. Because people think it's just like, all right, well, yeah, I walk out my process. But within the process, do you know how many things happen that aren't even associated with whatever you're trying to get to?
Yeah.
Like there's so many like lessons to be learned along the way, but you still have life, you still have family, you still have friends, you have loved ones, all that is included. So it's not just what happens on my way to success, it's what happens on my way to success, but at home, at work, with my child, like all of that is included. So you have to be like desperate, dog. And in order to like stay on track, you have to look at oneself and develop. Like the character has to develop, dog. If you have strong character, yes, you can make it. But if it's shaky and you're not working on you, then it's gonna be very hard to sustain, dog, on the way to the end goal.
There's an author named Ryan Holiday. He has a book called The Obstacle is the Way. It's a really, really, really dope book. He's like a 3-part series, but that's neither here or there. But yeah. I think he starts the book off with a parable, and I'm going to butcher it. I already know because I haven't listened to the book in like some years. But from what I remember, he was like, it was this king that was, pretty much lording over this great land. And he was seeing his citizens just going to and fro, only looking for pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Like he was saying that people were just lazy and all they were looking for is just, to feel good in the moment. So they would go to and from the city and stuff. So what he did one day is he put a big boulder, like pretty much in the middle path from the village to the city. Mm-hmm. So people were coming up to the boulder, looking to try to see how they can get around, and they would just go back to the village. Mm. So the squanderer, he ended up coming, and he was assessing the boulder and everything, and he just got to thinking. So he ended up creating like a lever, and he ended up trying to find a way to just leverage himself and just kind of like, to prop up the boulder. Mm. He props up the boulder, and he ends up finding like a satchel with a whole bunch of gold coins. You know what I'm saying? He became the second richest man in the land. All because he was willing to go through the obstacle to get the reward. Yeah. And too many of us are not willing to do that. It's all about perspective again. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I was telling you, bro, like how I started journaling and meditating every morning. I said, beginning of the second quarter of this year, I'm gonna meditate and journal every morning, right? So far from April to now, I probably missed, I can count on like one hand how many times I missed my meditating and my journaling, right? Mm-hmm. So in the beginning of May, at the end of April, Kim, my wife, she came to me and said, hey, remember this cookbook you bought me? I bought her a keto cookbook like 3 years ago. Never used it, right?
Yeah.
So she was like, you know, do you want to try this, Joe, next month? So prior to that, each morning I was writing in my journal, by July 1st, I will be 200 pounds. By July 1st, I will be 200. I write that down every morning.
Yeah.
So when she came in and she approached me about the cookbook, old Mark would have been like, nah, I'm good. You're doing too much now. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. I'll support you.
Right.
But because I was being intentional and I was recalibrating every morning, I was able to spot opportunity versus an obstacle. Old Mark would have been like, man, she trying to do too much. Why you gotta do all that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's heavy.
Or I would have said, well, how about we read the book and let's do it next month.
Uh-huh.
But new Mark was like, oh, that's an opportunity to get to 200 by July 1st. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, are you able to spot the opportunity that looks like an obstacle and get what's on the other side of that? Or are you going to continue to keep doing what you're doing and get what you've been getting?
That's heavy. Yeah, that's heavy.
I like this guy.
The opportunity. I honestly believe every obstacle is the opportunity.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I know we got to wrap it up. It's like lifting weights though. In order to get stronger, you must break down the muscle. The muscle has to act like all right, everybody who's lifted weights before, you stop lifting and then you get back, let's say you took a month off or whatever, you get back and that first week hurts so bad. Every muscle is hurting, you can't walk, it's pain. But that's the pain that is associated with the growth. In order to grow, you must break down the muscle. The obstacle is there to break down the muscle. You know what I'm saying? The obstacle is, honestly, how do, like it, and we need to think about it when it happens. How can I make this benefit me? As opposed to, oh, here we go again.
Right.
If it ain't this, I can't win for losing. You can
right.
those words in every obstacle that comes. That's why you can't win for losing, because every time something happens, you say it and you get that outcome.
Yeah.
I can't win. If it ain't this, it's that. It's not this because it's that, because you say if it ain't this, it's that. Everything you have is a direct result of what you say out your mouth, because what you say, you ultimately believe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like out of the heart, the speaketh, the man. I don't know the words, but you speak what's in your heart. So if I believe if it ain't this is that, I'm going to get if it ain't this is that. When I believe it, I say it, I create it. But if I believe this obstacle is going to help me, but how, like now I open a whole different space up for my mind to start being creative. Like, how can I use this to leverage the situation? How can I use this to become better? And now what I speak, I become. And now perspective says when things happen, I fret not, because I know I need this in order to grow. And that's how you grow. But when you look at things like, oh, here we go again, okay, you'll be here we go again for the rest of your life.
Your life will be on loop.
100%. Yep.
That's real.
Man. This has been phenomenal, guys. First time back, first time live, and just where we're kind of moving with this whole dog culture empire, should I say? Right?
Empire.
We're gonna make this brand, this podcast, everything that we involved with, one of the top, if not.
My wife made this hat, by the way. Shout out to my baby.
Culture. I like that.
Shop at the Lovely Shop on Etsy.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Shameless plug, right? And I guess we believe that we're going to do this, right? We're dedicating our time, our energy, our passion to making this happen and changing lives. So we want y'all to stick with us throughout this journey. We're going to have amazing content, amazing guests, and different things. You're going to see the good and the bad. We're not just going to talk about the good. We're going to talk about the bad too, and display that to you.
Consistency.
A lot of different ways of content. Consistency is key, right? And discipline. So hold us accountable to that. Go ahead, Mark.
You don't mind me?
Yep.
No. My apologies, bro. I'm working on my rudeness. Before we wrap up,
he is mad rude.
Yeah, it's super. Working on. Hey, lead the people with two things. Matter of fact, let's. Hey, this is the first week back.
Yeah.
Lead the people with one thing to work on this week, man.
Go ahead, Mike.
Perspective. When something bad happens, I want you to just look at it as, here's my opportunity to grow. And then come back next week. Let us know in the comments. Do we got comments? But no, honestly, instead of looking at life, because life is inevitable, it's going to happen to you regardless. I didn't know I was going to get cancer. I didn't know. I was healthy. I didn't know it could happen to me, but it did. But when the perspective shifted is, all right, you like, I took it as a challenge. So you take your obstacles as challenges. Okay, so everybody's competed before, whether it's a race, whether, I don't know, whatever you do at job, everybody has that competitive nature in them. So when the obstacle comes, it's a challenge. Like, you're challenging yourself, because the old you used to crumble at the sight of obstacles or mountains or hurdles that pop up. The old you used to look at it and say, man, why is this always happening to me? The new you has to go challenge the old you, the old way of thinking. So I need the new you to say, all right, this obstacle is here. I am going to make it benefit me. And then once you say that, you'll start to figure out how. So this week, challenge yourself when the obstacles come up.
Church.
That way.
We appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back same time, same bad channel.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
When we dropping it?
That's on you. You got to record it.
It's already recorded. All right, I'm dropping it. Hey, so catch us on YouTube. We doing YouTube?
Yeah, you can put it on whatever channels
Instagram,
you want. Talk about that too.
Facebook, all that. You know what I'm saying?
That way.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
You got to end the meeting, dog.
We're going to stand here smiling. Like a fool.
You control the meeting.
All right, love is love. Love is love. Y'all be good. Man. See y'all next time. You know what I'm saying? All right.